Randy Filio, Keene City Councilor at Large. As for what the letter says, Mr. Chairman, is concerning the graffiti, especially in the downtown area, this is something not new, gone on for several years really. Recently, it just seems the amount of graffiti and the aggressive nature of some of the comments of the graffiti has really started to get out of hand. A lot of personal comments, a lot of attacking comments, people's names being used in graffiti. And I honestly don't think downtown's the place for this, especially in the historic district, which is where I would prefer if we were to enact the graffiti ordinance with basically adding chalking to sidewalks, crossways, and things of that nature. I know some people like to think of it as, well, we just play games out there and things like that. That's farthest from the truth. This graffiti is harmful, it's direct, it's very condescending, and some people are hiding under the umbrella of free speech, and free speech does have its limitations. Now, as far as the common, Mr. Chairman, that's always been the center of Keene for people allowing free speech. People, including myself, have stood out there and held signs. But even with the ordinance of signs, which does allow free speech, even with that comes restrictions. As you know, signs cannot be mounted to any particular tree or monument or anything downtown. They cannot be put on the ground and left there. If somebody wants to exercise their free speech on the common or anywhere downtown, you hold the sign, you show the sign, you leave with your sign. You do not, put it on trees, you do not put it on the ground. The problem I have now with the graffiti that's going on there, that's exactly what's going on. But we're not just talking about vote for this person or I love this person. We are talking about some very harmful words that's left behind, especially in the historic district. Now, as you know, many of you, on this council voted to put the downtown area into a historic district for the reason of the history of it, the businesses in it, and the people that we try to pull into downtown Keene. What is going on now with a lot of this graffiti going on? It's done in front of merchants. It's done in front of individuals. This does nothing to help draw business into downtown Keene. As a matter of fact, it's a deterrent. The downtown area, especially the common, was designed for everybody to go in without intimidation. That is out the window right now, in my opinion, from what I have seen, and I spend a lot of time downtown. So once again, with the free speech part, it does not hold back in free speech. You're still allowed to go there and hold your signs and whatever opinion that you want. You like chalking? Get out some chalk and write on a sign, I like chalk. Hold it out, follow the ordinance, take it home. Simple. And all one has to do, Mr. Chairman, is look around, just not around the country, just in New Hampshire. And I'm not going to pick on any particular cities, but there's a bunch of them in New Hampshire that their downtowns have gone. And the reason for that is they didn't pay attention to little details. When you don't pay attention to the little details, you're not paying attention to the big details. And the next thing you find yourself is a downtown with empty storefronts, just people just hanging out, nothing being spent, an economy down the tubes. You don't have to go too far from Keene to find that. Once the downtown's gone, it's hard to bring back. On a larger scale, let me give you an example of how things can get brought back or how difficult it is. I'm not comparing New York City to Keene by any stretch. Times Square in New York City was let go. It basically went right down the tubes. The way they brought it back wasn't through magic. It was through little things. They enforced graffiti ordinances, they enforced noise violations, they enforced all the minor ordinances, and they brought it back. By the same token, here in Keene, if you start ignoring these little things and not enforcing things, then you wind up with a downtown that doesn't favor everybody. So that's all I'm looking for with the expanded ordinance here, Your Honor. Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, I'm not, yeah.
Yeah, maybe later, maybe down the road. All I'm looking for is to really, clean up the downtown. I'm certainly not looking to infringe on free speech. There's certainly every opportunity for people to show their free speech by standing on the common with signs. With that, obviously, this is going to be a legal issue that the city attorney is getting involved in. I don't pretend to be an attorney. I know there's legal issues that come here. I know that there are ordinances across the country that are similar to the one that I'd be looking for, that are enforceable, and I certainly defer to the city attorney for that. But with that, Your Honor, thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to hearing people's comments.
If you hold on one second. Any members of the committee have questions for Councilor Filio? I have one. You mentioned what what you've observed and what you've seen written, could you give it, that being offensive, people's name, could you give some specific examples of what you've observed?
Yeah, I'm not going to use people's names, but people's names that have basically gone over and tried to clean up the common. I guess some people that were doing some of the graffiti took it offensively, that they didn't like it cleaned up. So their next chalking episodes were using people's names personally. And it's, you know, more than once. This isn't just an isolated example. That it was in front of businesses, it was in the common, it was in front of City Hall. And, you know, I observed them. And yeah, you know, they get washed away, but the point is they get written again, and it is offensive, and there's no place for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any members of the public that wish to ask questions or speak about the proposed graffiti ordinance? I see your hand up, I'll call on you. If, I understand, Sue, you have a cane. You'll be second and you'll be third. If anybody else is raised fourth, fifth, then I'm going to ask folks, if they don't mind, if they can, to stand in a line behind this gentleman here. And you will be third, sir. You can come right up to the chair.